faintly. I'll go to take this head on. Soon I'll come around. Lost and never found. Waiting for my words. Seen but never heard. Buried underground. But I'll keep coming.
My name is Michael Mays Jr. I played basketball at King University. I'm from Bristol, Tennessee. The way I've always played basketball is I like to score, but I like to score because I like to win. So when both those things happen, it feels really good. I mean, ever since I can remember, basketball has been what I like to do, you know? Ever since I was little, football and basketball has been like my whole life, basically. I've never really wanted to do anything else, you know? That's what I like to do. As far as I can remember, ever since I was in middle school, I've always wanted to be a pro basketball player, whether that means, you know, playing overseas. Middle school is when I started realizing, like, if I want to be really good at basketball, I have to treat it like it's my job, because I don't want a regular job. I just want to do this as long as I can do it. That's why I put so much time into this stuff, is because I really love to do it. Like, that's why I post on social media, little shooting videos and stuff. It's because, like, it's not to like show off. So I really love basketball, and that's why I continue to play it. So when I was in high school, I took it really serious in middle school, but when I was in high school, that's when I started going to the gym every single day. Obviously, those are my favorite 4 years of my life, because my dad working at the school. People don't understand me in Tennessee High. It's not like a high school thing. It's not like, oh, I miss high school so much, that's why I like Tennessee High. It's not how it is with me. I literally grew up at that place. It's like my house, because my dad's worked there since before I was born. So when people hear the BRTN tattoo, people don't get that. People just think it's like a weird thing, but they don't understand how it is to have a parent that coaches at the school. And ever since you can remember, you've worked out there, you shot basketball there, you've met everybody at the whole football and basketball programs. That's why I like Tennessee High so much. My basketball career there, as far as I'm concerned, I'm probably top 3 ever to go through that school, in my opinion, because I feel like nobody that's ever came through this city has had the skill level I have. I'm still working on showing that. I just got to find myself in the right situation. But I think these next 2 years, people are really going to understand how much work I put in, and it's going to show. About my junior and senior year, I didn't really get like interest from college coaches, because I didn't really understand the whole aspect of like going to college. I didn't understand, like, you know, in your high school, you think the world revolves around you. So I was just focused on me, my buddies, and getting better at basketball, because that's really what it's all about to me, is just having fun. So when I was a senior, I was just continuing that process, trying to be the best I can be, and I was thinking I was going to land where I was supposed to be in college. I was going to get offers and all that, but I never really put my name out there. I just played basketball in Bristol, Tennessee, you know? And so I really got lucky to get one offer, and that was really my only option. Reinhardt, I mean, that was a good offer to get. When a small college like that offers you, it's not a full ride. It's not like, oh yeah, you got school for free now. So me and my parents, we thought about prep here and there, but that was never really an option. So when I got that offer from Reinhardt, I had to that was my only option. So when I got down there, I mean, when the kids like tied around their family and they go off to college, it's like homesick, you know? So I enjoyed my time there, but the first semester I was super homesick, and I spent all my time in the gym, working out. I had a lot of friends down there actually that helped me get through it, but once I started to figure out that I'm down here and I need to enjoy myself, that's when I started loosening up and working out with my teammates and stuff and got better. Those 2 years I spent at Reinhardt were probably the most progress I've ever made when it comes to basketball. So like, I'm super grateful that I went to school there. But when it comes to on the court, I mean, I feel like I put up pretty good numbers and I showed glimpses of how good I can be. I've played 3 seasons so far, and I've definitely showed glimpses of how I can be on the court, but I haven't put that one season together yet, that one dominant full season. And so that's my goal coming up these next 2 years. At the sideline, and then I'm gonna do a run back to you, catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in here for an hour trying to make 10 in a row, I'm in here for an hour. If I'm in here for 5 minutes trying to make 10 in a row, I'm in here for 5 minutes, all right? So I gotta make 10 in a row regardless. Most people can't make 9 in a row anyway. I missed that? No! You're lying. When it comes to leaving Reinhardt, I knew I didn't want to stay all 4 years because I just wanted to experience something different after my second year. So we began exploring other options, and Coach Pitts at King, he expressed the most interest right away. He was the first coach to talk about like how much money he's going to give me, and it was basically a full, you know. So I'm like, well, I mean, he obviously wants me because he's talking money right away. So, and ever since I was in high school, I've been watching King play, and I wanted to play for Coach Pitts, but they never offered me out of high school. So the first time I really met him was when I was 20 years old. So that's really why I came back to play for King, was to play for Coach Pitts. And a plus on top of that was I'm back in Bristol. Coach Gillespie is the only coach that gave me an opportunity to play in college. So no matter what happens between me and him, I'll forever be grateful for that. But I like Coach Gillespie. I had no idea he was gonna interview for the job until he texted me one day. I was like, yeah, I would love for you to get the job. And so I'm sure a million coaches applied for that job, and it came down to 2 coaches, and they chose Coach Gillespie, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, the coach that I played for in Georgia is now my coach at King, where I live. It's just crazy how that happened. And the fact that I'm familiar with him really gives me a sense of like confidence on the court, rather than playing for a coach that I never played for. It's crazy. I always hear people phrase it like that, like, oh, it's gonna be hard for you to sit out a whole year. But the way I think, you know, I just saw it as an opportunity that I can work out and practice against some of the best players that I've been around for a whole year, and just use it to get better. I said those 2 years at Reinhardt was the most progress I've ever made, but I would say those 3 years. Those 2 years at Reinhardt and the first year at King was the most progress I ever made as a basketball player, because we got to play against some really good basketball players my first year at King, so that really helped me out a lot. But it was definitely challenging not to be able to play in the games, going to the games and having to sit on the sideline. It was hard, but you just know that you're doing it for a good reason. I played the first 10 games of the year, first 9 games of the year, and I'm like, man, we ain't got shut down because of COVID, and we haven't had any issues with our season yet. I'm like, it's going good. And then all of a sudden we play a game, and I get a call the next day and says I have to sit out 2 weeks because I was around somebody that tested positive. And it was like all of a sudden. So I'm like, man, I have no gym access because I can't go to King. It's cold outside, can't shoot outside. So I'm basically stuck in the house. I can lift weights, but can't shoot. So that really drained me. Like, you know me, I gotta have gym time. It keeps me going. So those 2 weeks not being able to play really took my focus off of what it should be on. I wasn't engaged in class as much. I wasn't engaged in basketball as much. And I just found myself just going through the motions, you know. So then I come back to practice, and I'm rusty because I have practice one day, and then I play in a game the next day. I play like 7 minutes. I score 2 points, you know. I'm like, golly, the season's going off the rails quick. I'm not being grateful for the opportunity that I have, you know. And so the next day in practice, we have a full day of practice. It's not a great practice, you know. Tempers are high, and I just wasn't happy, you know. And the next thing you know, I wake up on the ground looking at my coach and the trainers looking at me. I have no idea what happened. And so they carry me out on a stretcher, take me to the hospital in an ambulance. And I thought I had a concussion. I thought I was going to be able to go home that night, just a regular concussion, because I've had one before. And the doctor comes in and tells me I break my neck. I'm like, first thing I thought of was like, I'm never going to be able to play basketball again. But, I mean, when you hear a broken neck, you think serious right off the bat. And it was serious injury, but I broke a bone that sticks out in the back of my neck. It had nothing to do with my spine, so I consider myself super lucky to, you know, 4 months later, I'm starting to get back to normal, which is good. But the injury, sitting in the house with 3 months in a neck brace is like not easy. It's all you're around is your family. You know, you really get to see who cares about you, who checks up on you. Not that I expect anybody to do that, but you really see who like the real ones are in your life that check up on you. So it helped open my eyes, and also like it helps me. I'm more grateful to do little things now, like take a shower by myself and be able to cook my own food and even be walking, you know. So now I feel like those 3 months in a neck brace helped me regain that love for basketball that I had when I was a kid. So that's why I'm super ready to start training again and start ready to get for the next 2 seasons, because like I haven't felt like this since I was probably 17, 18 years old.
Go on.
Ask Deontay what he just said about how hot it is in here.
How hot?
It's hot as No cuss words. No cuss words in this whole documentary. No cuss words.
That's fine.
This is PG. Ask him again.
How hot is it?
It's very hot in this gym.
Describe how hot.
I'm just rebounding, and my legs.
You know why it's very hot in here? Because we don't have a special gym to go to. We don't have special trainers. We do this on our own. We make our own videos.
Tell him.
We make our own videos. We grind on our
Tell
own.
him.
We have no specialness about us. We do this on our own. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick 5.
I just rebound.
Well, it's like smack the track up and leave dents in it. The vocalist busting his blunt, instruments spit. The magnificent rappers from it. All fly girls, nipples and toes. None from it, it's season, my circumference. It's confronting, son. Get your gross stunner from it. You don't want it. The black order, MOS, that running. You the OG, stock price plummet. All you high-known riders better rally at the summit. It's me into freak in your fleet out. Walk the membrane, walking big game and get hunted. I unleash a cat, say it happens so sudden. Just look up to the side, didn't really say nothing. Then fly, flew with the 1900. You better get some rest, cause the next day color. Oh yes, the MCs, they scared to say something. Stop fronting, I'm in the cut, just on looking. You get your kings and rooks, rings, and pawn saying like you get tape roller, so you catch a ball. The black lord and a black man from Black Star. Hit it up for me, ignore we conference and conflict. Even mistakes and crime, I get mine regardless. A lot of smurfs let them seats carry purses and buy uniforms. This made for nurses. I verse your verses, your words is worthless. Only touch your surface. The purpose. I shot the sheriff, the deputy, and head of bank treasury. Surroundings in the county got a big bounty threatening me. But tell them to hold on, they too short to measure me. Most of black dog loud, born with the record. Either stand tall or sit the down. All the way from 2150 to Bucktown. Brace yourself, it's about to go down. Break the side, how your microphone sound tight. Well, I ain't sure what it's about. We got the blow the spot because they must have forgot. We double trouble, bubble, 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 and hot, hot.
At this point, I'm going to address two things here. First thing I'm going to address is when I decided to come back to play in Bristol, I had a false sense of importance, I would say. I was thinking that, you know, I'm from Bristol, I'm coming back to play for King, people are going to care about me. You know, people are going to think that's cool or whatever. And people do, but what I've realized as I've gotten older is that in this world, all you really got is your family and a close circle of friends who really appreciate you and what you stand for. Another thing is I've gotten older, I've gotten more like, you know, I understand how this world works more. I've learned how to love basketball more than love social media more. Because at a certain point, I've always loved basketball, but at a certain point, it's like you gotta separate social media from basketball. So now it's like I'm getting better at basketball every day, I'm working out, I'm getting back to normal, but I'm taking a new approach to things. I'm doing this because I love it. I'm doing this because I want to go far in this, not to impress others. And another thing is like care less about stats and care more about winning. When you win, all those things kind of, you know, take care of themselves. People start to get proved wrong when you win. If you're losing and scoring 25, then what can you say, you know? But if you're winning and scoring 20, 21, 22, that's when people start to get proved wrong, you know? So that's basically what I want my comeback seasons to be like. I want to win, I want to be in a good team atmosphere, and I want to have fun. I feel like at this point in my basketball journey, people think it's over for me, you know? I'm 22 years old. Usually at this point, I'm starting to see people I grew up with, they're graduating, they're getting jobs, you know, they're starting lives and stuff, you know? But I have a lot more to prove. Like I haven't played my best basketball yet, you know? And by the time the next season starts, it'll be almost 2.5 years since I've played a full season. I've played 10 games in 2.5 years. People think it's over for me, but I got a lot left to prove, and I can't wait to prove people wrong. There's a lot of people I really want to prove wrong, and I can't wait to do that. So.